Hey everybody, Marco, KC2ZMA. I'm going to show you how I programmed my dm5r Plus radio with the programming software, the CPS. I'm showing you this. This is my programming cable for the UV5R, and the software disk that comes with it. If you get it from Amazon, like a UV5R, and you get the typical USB programming cable and the disk that actually has the drivers for the USB. The UV5R I use Chirp to program it, and but this has the drivers because my Windows Vista wasn't seeing it. I had to install the drivers for the cable here, and we're going to be doing programming of the dm5r Plus. I'm going to show you how I program different channels in here. This is the website I actually went to. Found this website, VA3XPR programming software, and when you download something, you have to just put an email address. I put my email address, and I was able to download the software. So if you go to this website, just look at the address bar up here. You can also Google it, and it's right over here. Baofeng dm5r programming software. It's version 1, and I downloaded it. This is what it looks like. It's a zip file, and yeah, I'm just going to drag it. I already installed it, so it looks just like this, CPS 5R. The software is very, very glitchy. Very glitchy. When I installed the software, I installed it on my C drive, and it was giving me error messages. So I installed the program right on the desktop. I just see all the files are right in here. And so if you have issues of loading it into your C drive, install it to the desktop. It's just a pointer. Let me know if you get comments if you have any more issues or so. But I was able to get it working by installing it directly to the desktop. So we have the programming cable. Now remember the TYT MD380 programming cable will not work with the Baofeng, because the drivers, the FTDI chip on the MD380 is in the radio, and this radio here, you're going to need, doesn't have the FTD chip in here, so you're going to have to use the Baofeng programming cable. Do not use the TYT MD380, the FTDI chip. That's what the abbreviation I'm looking for. So remember, you will not, if you have the programming cable for TYT MD380, that will not work. You have to use the Baofeng that actually has the chip in the cable here, because when you pop it in, it automatically recognizes it. As you know, with the MD380, the programming cable, you have to actually have to turn the radio on, and then the radio will recognize the computer, because the chip's in the radio on the MD380. On the Baofeng, it's not. So keep that in mind. So plug this in, turn it on, So I'm going to fire up the software. The software is, like I said, it's really glitchy, so you might have issues. If you keep trying, you'll eventually get it. This is what the software looks like. So I'm gonna read the radio. You'll see the light flash fast. First of all, let me show you this. Hold on a second. Let me show you COM port. And you know what? I actually put in the wrong COM port. Let me take it out. I actually have to put it on my bottom USB. There we go. And COM port, I think it's 23. If you don't see a COM port, you can actually type in capital letters, COM 23. If you don't see a COM port. So just like this, you can actually type in a COM port. Leave that like 57600. Haven't touched that. Push OK. Now, here, let me see if there's any, like I mentioned before, you'll see, yep. You might see other COM ports. You might have to go to your device manager to see what COM port is actually using. This took me a while to actually figure this out, this part of it. So you go here, read. It shows that. And it shows the light blinking right here. You don't see anything on display here, actually. Read success. Push OK. And I have just a couple channels here programmed. Just like I showed the video last time with a couple of simplexes. And I'm using an Shark RF for Brandmeister. So these are the specific talk groups I'm using for Brandmeister here. 4000 is clear. 9999 is echo. So this is what it actually looks like here. The settings, if you go to base set, yeah, this right here, this little bar, just move it down all the way to the bottom, so you could get the full screen of any menu around here. Bring this around. This doesn't, I don't know if, doesn't really show up. Radio name, I put my call sign, but it doesn't really show up into the radio. But this is important right here. Your radio ID, make sure you put your DMR ID right into this field right here. Put it in, push enter. Until you hear that noise that I actually entered in. I never really touched anything else. Send limit time. This is the timeout timer. That's what that is. So in base set, make sure you put your radio ID in there. Okay, let's close. You don't need that. Close that for now. Work mode. I put the display as the channel name. Put his name, his frequency, and all that. Haven't really messed around with any of these things. The channels are right here, so these channels are actually off. So you could put, I don't know, I think up to 127 channels. So these other ones are all off. Let me show you menu by menu. So this is all what's collapsed. Just like that. So you don't get confused, I collapsed, I shrunk everything together so you see everything together. Okay, here's the base set and set right here to put your radio ID. Intro is that. A and B, I think that's the top and the bottom frequency set on the radio. Channel. So this channel 0 is off. So it starts with channel 1, having a simplex, and it starts with all those. So in order to enable a channel, if you go into a channel, like channel 0, here we go, so we see everything. So you could do digital analog. So we do a digital, and it activates. Now it turns it on there. It defaults to this one here. So you put your channel name, what you want to name the channel. For example, if you want 3100 for USA Brandmeister or anything you want to put in there. There's the receive and transmit, high power, low power. Here you have the color code, time slot here, talk group. The group list. I named the group list and I named the contacts the same. That's the way I like to do it there. And I leave these all. Actually, I think I leave these all off. I'll show you a channel itself. So let me shut this channel off. Channel 0. I'll go to Brandmeister over here. 3100. So I'm using color code 1, slot 1, group list 3100 USA. I have these off. And here's the contacts 3100 USA. I leave that as none. Impolite, I leave the way it is like that. I leave that like that alone. And if you put if you wanted to put an analog, it will be basically all these off, and you could put CTSS and PL tones and all that stuff there for analog. And it'd be the same thing with frequency and transmit. So you have that. So the reason why you won't see the other ones, I have them all off. So that's why you only see the simplexes and the Brandmeisters in here. So that's how you set the channel. I mean, you can set the channel through a radio, but the contacts you can set through the radio. If you wanted to add contacts, this is where you add the contacts. And then you could basically put color code, a time slot, and all that. So here's the contacts. This is very important right here. Well, group list as well is very important too. I don't think you could set group list into the radio or contacts into the radio. So talk group 2, group, and right here is the call ID is 2. So that's local. 99 is a simplex, and here's the Brandmeister 3100 and all the other ones here. And the other ones are none. And I keep all as group call. Same thing as you saw in my last video, a program in the MD380. So it's very similar what you got to do on this one. It's just the menus are a little bit different. And then you have group list here. Group list, I named it the same here. So I like it, name it group list, and you talk group 2, and I just drag the talk group in here. So the member is what names this group list here. You go to talk group 99, and then you'll see it like that, just like that. If you want to name it as region, the way you want to name it, I like the way I have it like this here. As long as everything is uniform, you know what everything is. You can basically customize the way you want to customize it. And so that's the group list, and you have the contacts, just like the MD380. You have the same thing. And so that's what you have. So you have you don't really need that. Messengers, you could do messages as well. Encryption, you can't do encryption. I think encryption is illegal on Part 97. If you look that up, the FCC, Amateur Radio Part 97, you can't do encryption. Group list, contacts. I haven't messed around with the alarms here, but very, very basic. And you have the write data. If you write the data, it blinks this. I don't want to do it, but it blinks the same light there. It tells you it's finished, and that's it. And it doesn't really save. And I'll show you something. If I try to shut down the program, it doesn't shut anything off. Save or not, push yes. Even if you put something in there, I don't know. Even if you put that, it says it failed. I think because I downloaded it on my desktop, that's why it really doesn't know where to save anything. Even if you push no. But I had an issue where it didn't really want to fire the program when I downloaded it on my C drive. When you typically download and install a program, it just wasn't installing, didn't want to really install correctly. So what I do basically, or when I do if I want to change something, I just read and write. So if I do Control-Alt-Delete and start task management, I'll just shut down the program this way, which is not really a good way of doing it. But, you know, like I said, the software is very glitchy. But if you have any issues like that yourself, just do it just try it that way. And if you make some, if you have a better way of doing it, or just make some comments below or anything like that. Just give me some comments. But I've just been doing it that way. And so that's where you will find the software, and it's still on version 1. Here's the user manual right there. And that's how basically how I program these, my simplexes and my Shark RF stuff. And it's working okay. Doesn't work too bad. But thanks for watching, everybody. And give me a thumbs up if you like it. Make some comments, or if you have any more information and stuff like that. That were really cool to share all this information, amateur community. Thanks for watching, everybody.